Hey guys, welcome to Girls Gone Fishing, and this is part 2 of the mead making. Now, if you remember last time we made some mead with a plastic water bottle, well, we've already kind of wrapped that and bottled it and drank it because the footage kind of got lost. So I'm going to have to redo it with some more mead that's ready to be racked. As you can see here, we've got 2 lots of mead that are bottled on the same day, made on the same day, and we also have a blackberry wine, which we're doing all in one day, so yeah, thought I might as well just do them all together. So we've got at the moment 2 demijohns for them to go into. This demijohn is a new demijohn and it's a little bit bigger than the others. All these are like 4.5, where this one seems to be a full 5 gallon. We didn't realise actually until today, so that one's going to need topping up a bit more than the other, but we'll sort that out anyway. We're going to show you how to siphon it through into the new jar, which Amy is going to help me with that. Okay. She already knew what she was doing, so I don't know why she looked so sheepish. So first, we need to take the airlock and the cork out. No? Okay, I'll do it then, Ames, don't worry about it.
You're doing all of them?
Yeah, just... I'm going to leave the blackberry on because I'm going to have to empty a new demijohn first. Right, and then what you need to do is very carefully... Now then, you can just use a tube. We've got the tube that has one of these at the bottom, which I find really useful because if you look down here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a load of like gunk, a big thick line of gunk there. All that is all the dead yeast and all the dead bits that have fell down to the bottom when it's been like settling. So you want to not suck that up. So this little cap helps out. If you haven't got that cap, you're just going to have to get somebody with a good eye watching it, so then make sure none of that rubbish is coming up. So Amy's slowly going down there. This is quite good because it can rest on the bottom, and once she gets it rested on the bottom, she will hold it there in place so it doesn't move at all, like that. Okay, next is my little job. Now then, all I've got to do is I've got to suck it through until it starts to, the liquid starts to come through, and then I can empty it into the jar. Once you start letting it come through into the jar, you want to make sure it's not just gushing in. You want it to like come at an angle so it's hitting the like tip here, so it's going, I'll show you anyway. So yummy. Oh, that is nice. So as you can see, I'm just letting it hit the neck of the jar so it's nicely trickling in like so. Oh, that's really nice, that is.
Is that the new one that we've done?
Yeah. Oops. So this is going to take a little while. And what we're going to do is we're just going to speed things along, get these 2 poured into these 2, and we'll get back to you with step 2. Don't know if you can see just how clear these are gone, but they're like crystal. You know when they're ready to be racked, when there is no more bubbles coming up through. If you just watch it, just keep a good eye on it and watch it and see if there's any more little air bubbles popping through, and make sure it's nice and clear. I mean, even that blackcurrant, I don't know if you can really see it really, but the blackcurrant wine, it is actually quite clear as well. It's really clear, that. So it's the clarity as well as making sure there is no more active yeast. When the bubbles are gone, it means all the sugar's eaten up, and that's what you want. So as you can see, that's all the scummy, disgusting stuff left at the bottom, and it is proper gross. It's like, I don't know, it just looks like mud or something. It's not very nice. It's not poisonous or anything like that. I mean, if you did drink a bit, it doesn't matter, but it's not worth really keeping or anything. So that just wants to get cleaned out, give it a really good rinse, ready, and you should be left with nice clear liquid like so. We actually managed to get more out of that one to get into this one. Now we did the smaller one, which was quite weird. If you have used tags, yeah, you want to put them on the new ones so you know when they were done and stuff like that, and you want to write down to make sure you know when they've been racked, so you have an estimate of how long to leave them. I usually leave them about anywhere between 2 weeks to a month, depending, because as you might work out that the reaction might start again if once you put a bit more sugar in to either sweeten it or just to like top it up. Because have you noticed there's quite a large space left here on both of them, so we need to top that up. And the way to do that is you'll get another jar of honey, and so it was a honey to a litre how we did it, but depending how you do it, you work out roughly how much you need to a litre, and you'll top it up using the same idea. So we used litre to a jar of honey, so we'll do the mix and top it up to where it needs to be. And on these glass demijohns, you want them to about where the neck bulges in like that. So I'm just going to get some honey sorted. I'm back in a second. So I'm just going to get Amy to try a little bit of each one just to see if it needs to be sweetened or anything. So this is the first one, number 3.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Okay, that one's amazing. Does it need sweetening, watering down a little bit? Just nice?
Perfect.
Okay, so that one doesn't need altering, it just needs topping up. So next one.
That'd be a bit. No, perfect.
Both, yep, okay, so
Spot on.
Amy's tried them both. She likes the way they both taste, so we don't need to back sweeten them. So that's a plus on the plus side. So that's really good. So all we've got to do now is top them up. Yep. Okay, sometimes when you get to the bottom of these bottles, it's worth just tilting them and seeing if you can get a little bit extra out. I mean, we've already took quite a bit out of there and it went murky, so I'm not going to take any more out, but you can see there's quite a bit of liquid compared to scum. So we've done it with this one. As you can see, there's a lot less liquid in that one, and we've put it into here. Now that looks really murky and disgusting at the moment, but if you leave that with the other meads, when you come to racking up again and making another mead, you can use the clear bit that's settled down and stuff like that if your mead doesn't need back sweetening or anything like that to top it up. So we've just done that with the last lot, and as you can see, it's brought it up quite nicely, so we don't need a lot more to top up of honey. Because obviously you start topping it up, it's a good chance it could activate the yeast again if there's any yeast alive. So once you start getting into a process of doing it, you want to try and keep that little bit, just let it settle down, and then you can top it up. Or even if you've got some mead from a previous one, top it up with that. Somebody drank all of it, so we've got no, we haven't got anything to top ours up with. So we're going to just top it up with a little bit of honey. We'll show you that now, and we'll get on to doing the wine, the blackberry wine. Okay, so between the two, I can't imagine needing more than about, I don't know, about 250 in each of them. So I've took half a jar of honey, put it in and topped it up to about 500 millilitres, and I'm going to divide them equally into these two. Amy's got a phone call, so I'm just going to pour it in a bit there. Don't pour it in too fast, you don't want to be getting loads and loads of bubbles in it. So you just want to pour it in until it gets to the neck. And then same again the other. Alright, sorry about that. We had a herring on our pond, so we're just going to have to sort that out. As you can see, Amy's just putting some high-tech anti-herring device around our little pond, which is pretty much just canes and wire. Very high-tech indeed. Anyway, so we're at this stage with the mead. It's all racked up. We've got a mix of last time's mead and honey in there. Because we've introduced new sugar, you want to make sure you're going to leave it anywhere between 2 weeks to a month. If it starts reacting again, you're going to have to do this stage over again. You want to keep an eye out for bubbles. So bubbles saying that it's reacting. If you start seeing bubbles, you know that the fermentation stage has started up. So you want to be leaving it until they have stopped once more. As you can see, I put the airlocks in there. I've moved my tags over, so they're onto the new bottles. Number 2 is still on number 2, so the liquid from bottle 2 has gone into number 2, the liquid from number 3. And I will be jotting down when I wrapped up, so today's date, and then I'll be checking in again on it in about 2 weeks, seeing if it's reacted. Give it probably maybe another week. If it's not, then great. If it looks like it might be, I'll leave it another week just in case. So the next stage will be bottling your alcohol up. So what you want to do is you want to get roughly about 6 wine bottles, maybe 7 bottles, just to be sure for each one. I usually find if you get actual wine bottles, they're about 75 cl. So you'll use about 6 and you'll have a little bit left over, maybe like a I don't know, about 600 millilitres or maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit less left over. Usually I will save that for the next lot of racking, so when I need that little bit extra, instead of having to put more honey in, if it tastes just nice, it'll be going in like that instead. If you're using something like vodka bottles or something like that, you'll find they're only 70 cl, so you'll need probably about 7 of them instead of 6. We found that out the first time we did it because all we had was vodka bottles, so we was using 70 cl vodka and we found out we needed 7. And then when we started going on to actual wine bottles, we noticed that we only needed 6 and a bit, so started working out better. Obviously I've got 2 on the go here, so when they're both done, I'll probably be using about 13 bottles between them. So, because you get roughly just over 6 from each of them. So that's not going to be too bad. So next stage will be me bottling them up. So what you guys will need is some bottles. You can clean them, you can leave the labels on if you want, it's up to you. I usually like give them a good clean, get the labels off, just let them soak overnight with the labels on in a bit of water, and then they sometimes just peel off so easy the next day, it's unbelievable. So it's up to you if you want to leave the labels on. Make sure they are clean though. You want to sterilise them just like you sterilise everything else. They want to make sure there's nothing in there or anything like that. You don't want to contaminate it still. This is the final stage, so you do not want to bugger it up from here. So I will see you next time, guys. Hit that subscribe button, tell me what you think about this video, and I'll see you next time.